I'm Francisca Kakra-Foss, and let's get started. Lawyers for Justice Paul Derry, one of the judges implicated in the judicial corruption scandal, has filed a fresh suit at the Supreme Court. This follows the public screening of the investigative film on Tuesday. Now, Justice Derry is asking the Supreme Court to declare null and void the petition by Anas and his team to remove several High Court judges caught on tape allegedly taking bribes. Justice Derry has also filed a suit at the High Court, accusing the Accra International Conference Center and Accra-based UTV of contempt. Our online editor Malik Dabu has the details.
Yesterday, they filed another process. They filed an application for interlocutory injunction on the International Conference Center. Now, he's filing another case in court today, apart from this one at the Supreme Court. He's bringing another case, citing managers of the conference center for contempt, because he believed that once, and there are two schools of thought, if you bring an application for injunction, one school of thought says that the service of this application on the respondents should act to stop them from acting in a manner that will make an eventual decision by the court stupid. Today alone, he's bringing two cases, one at the High Court, one at the Supreme Court. The one at the Supreme Court we just spoke about. He wants the petition filed by Anas to be declared null and void because he says it violates constitutional provisions, and he's citing one decided case at the Supreme Court, that is Chum and Attorney General. In Chum and Attorney General, we know that Brother Akwete brought a case trying to remove from the bench a Chief Justice at the time, Justice George Kingsley Akwa, who was a Chief Justice. He said that there were stated grounds upon which the Chief Justice ought to have been removed from the bench. So he filed a petition to the President, as he was required to do by the Constitution. When he did that, for some reason, someone leaked the petition to the media. Chum went to court, suing the Attorney General and arguing that he wanted the Supreme Court to interpret the Constitution, whether the leaking of this petition filed by Brother Akwete to the President, whether the leaking of same to the media was in violation of Article 1468. Because there was no the court agreed that there was a violation, and to that extent, the petition was declared null and void. He is seeking solace under this case, except that we have to add that at the Supreme Court level, the court is not bound by its own decisions. And you are a student of the law, you do know that if this was at the High Court would have been bound by a decision of the higher court, that's the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court is allowed to depart from its own previous decisions.
Just a few hundred Ghanaians have seen the investigative documentary video on alleged corruption in the judiciary, but the issue continues to dominate conversations and headlines across the country. The video premiered last night at the Accra International Conference Center under tight security, with people from all walks of life in attendance. After queuing for a couple of hours to be let into the auditorium, the audience produced a rousing rendition of the national anthem before settling down to watch the film.
It's a sad day in the history of Ghana, and we should all be crying, and it calls for sober reflection. You know, what do we do to rescue Ghana from this rot that we find ourselves in?
The sense of society, whether for journalists, whether for parliamentarians, whether for politicians, whether for business people, whether for church leaders, quite clearly, people who are in positions of trust, whatever those positions are expected by those who put them there to behave themselves in a way that keeps their reputations in a manner that protects the integrity of the particular institution. So in this case, the judiciary, whose reputation is at stake. But we've of course heard in the past about other institutions, both of state and in the public and private sectors, that may be having problems. And it goes from the sports field to the parliamentarian section. It involves, you know, the executive branch of government and men and women of God. So all of us have many lessons to learn from this.
I never thought justice is that cheap in Ghana, and we go ahead bribing the police. I mean, the police commanders charge better than the judges. I am so disappointed. I mean, I think the one that took the best prize was the one that had sex.
To other stories, poverty continues to worsen in Ghana despite the country's successes towards meeting the Millennium Development Goals. Ghana managed to halve the proportion of people living in extreme poverty between 1990 and 2006, but progress is yet to be seen in rural and northern Ghana. According to the final MDG report on Ghana, the living standards of rural folks have worsened over the years and remains a major source of concern. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo has more.
The 97-page report points to increasing inequalities between rural and urban dwellers, as well as residents in the northern and southern parts of the country. According to the national average, overall poverty in Ghana declined from 32% of the population in 1990 to 24% in 2013. But the three regions of the north still have high poverty rates than the national average. Economist at the University of Ghana, Dr. William Boateng, says the poor are getting poorer.
Now, it's quite interesting to talk about incidence of poverty. So poverty, as far as Ghana is concerned, we've been able to achieve the target. But when we take an indicator of depth of poverty, we still have poverty being deeper. And what do we mean by depth of poverty? We are talking about the distance, those who are still poor, the distance from where they are up to the poverty line. And we still have many people who are far from getting to the poverty line. So even though we've been able to attain the poverty incidence, we still have a challenge when it comes to poverty gap.
Economist Dr. Eric Asibeyabua attributes this to the growth of the economy in areas that benefit only a few persons.
It underscores the quality of the growth process, the distributional effect of this growth, and the inclusiveness of the growth that we have had. And that means that we need to look at the sources of this growth. Where are we generating our growth from? Most of our growth is coming from the extractive sectors, the mining, oil, extraction, which is often heavily capital intensive and which tend to have very low or no linkage at all with the other sectors of the economy. And therefore, it is not able to carry the majority of our people along when we're growing. It also shows that the growth is being driven by very sophisticated financial systems that we have, the ICT, which also require high-skilled labor at the expense of our unskilled labor.
Director General of the National Development Planning Commission, Dr. Nimoy Thompson, wants policymakers to do more to bridge this gap.
From the 2015 report has shown that despite the real progress made, the most vulnerable people, the poorest of the poor, and other disadvantaged groups have recorded limited progress. Disparities in progress between urban and rural areas remains a very constant worry that much continues to be done to command the attention of policymakers. And here too we need to emphasize that disparities are very pronounced, especially in urban areas where poverty generally has fallen, but inequality has also gone up. While poverty remains high in rural areas where inequality is relatively low also for obvious reasons.
The report shows Ghana successfully met 4 of the 8 MDGs, including that on poverty eradication. 2 of them were not achieved, and average marks were recorded in meeting the rest of the 2. For Joy News, Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, Accra.
I'm Francisca Kakra-Forson, and this is Joy News Today. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Joy News Today. The national chairman of the opposition New Patriotic Party, Paul Afoku, says despite the current cracks in the party, they are poised to win the 2016 general elections. The MPP has over the last few months been grappling with issues threatening internal unity, with some political analysts predicting defeat for them in 2016. But Mr. Afoku says the MPP continues to pursue other agendas that will return the party to power in 2017. He was speaking at the launch of the new electronic membership card for the MPP.
Oh, the party has lots of needs, but we are versatile enough to handle all of them. So that is it. Oh, you mean when we face challenges, we therefore have to stop operating? We have to stop working? No. If you face a challenge, I bet you in your own home, all of you, your viewers, your listeners, you face multiple challenges in your homes every day. It doesn't mean that because you face multiple challenges, everything else should stop, so that you can deal with one challenge at a time. I mean, fortunately, my children are grown up now. I don't have to pay school fees. But when I had to pay fees and deal with hospital bills, and deal with water bills, and deal with electricity bill, and deal with gas bills, I had to deal with all of them. So if the party faces challenges, the party deals with all the challenges. Even though we face challenges, we still have to come up with solutions.
So this is not a mask?
No, it's not a mask. This is a genuine work we are doing, a genuine piece of work we are doing. And we intend to continue to do more. We face lots of challenges every day. For example, we will soon go on a membership drive, and that falls under the purview of the General Secretary and the national organizer. Once they start doing that, is it a mask? No. This is what a political party does. We're not putting up masks.
The newly introduced electronic card, according to the MPP, will help the party raise funds to support projects.
The card is your personal property. You load the card with your 1 CD, and then you transfer the 1 CD to the party's bank account. And we believe it is going to remain the same account at Ghana Commercial Bank. So you give us 1 CD, we get 1 CD. It will help us in our effort to fight and win the next general election. It is so transparent that there can be no cheating, because the money is yours. The card, as you hold that card, if you put 1 CD in that card, it is your 1 CD. It will not leave you until you say, I want you to, you give instructions that you want the 1 CD to either go to the party's account in Ghana Commercial Bank, or you are going to pay your water bill, electricity bill, your DSTV bill. The party automatically has become a merchant.
Second Vice Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Samit Krab, is questioning moves by the MPP Council of Elders to get Party Chairman Paul Afoko sanctioned. As you may recall, the 30-member council, in a letter to the Disciplinary Committee, proposed, among others, that Mr. Afoko should be made to step aside. In the following interview with Joy News' Kwache Afre-Nyama, Mr. Krab says the Council of Elders lacks the mandate to take such a disciplinary action.
Well, it is unfortunate, if I may put it that way. I've been going through the Constitution, and I don't see any part of the Constitution that says that one of the duties of the National Council of Elders is to recommend the suspension or disciplinary, of a national officer. I don't see anything like that. So
you are saying that the National Council of Elders does not have the powers to push for something like this?
I think as per the Constitution, I mean, there's nothing stated there. It's the individuals who actually go and report things, and even if there is a member of NEC, you want to take a member of NEC to the National Disciplinary Committee, there's a route, and I think this is not the right route. So really, I think it's just unfortunate.
These are elders in your party. These are people who are top guns in the party. Many of them founding members of the MPP. They are well vexed with matters of the Constitution.
You see, a lot of people, when they hear Council of Elders, they think that is a supreme body. This is an advisory body. There's a chairman who prepares a list. It goes around. So I think that as an advisory body, things must be referred to them before they actually make a move. So I have a problem with that.
He's a patriot. That's how the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Nane Akufo-Addo, describes the young man who lost one eye in last week's clashes between police and demonstrators demanding a new voters register. Nana-Addo visited Justice Ajakuma at his home in Accra Newtown and commended him for what he described as his sacrifice. The MPP flag bearer said a 36-year-old trader will someday be named among Ghanaian freedom fighters and Democrats. After the interaction with Nana-Addo, Justice Ajakuma spoke to Joy News about his determination to join the next demonstration to demand a new voters register.
I joined demonstration because of our need peaceful election 2016. Because of that, I joined that demonstration. I think that if they give us new register, it will help us for 2016.
Why do you think we need a new register?
I think that if the new register comes, so if the political parties or if the result, if the vote finish, then the result come. If you win, you lose, you know that I win, I lose. But if so, they say there are something there inside the register, some things are not good, so they for change it. Because of that, I mean myself, I follow that people that the thing who they inside the register, no, they for give us new register. Because of that, I follow them.
What exactly did the doctors tell you?
The doctors tell me that I can't see with my eyes again. My left eye, I can't see with that eye again.
Justice, tell me, how does all this make you feel? How do you feel? Do you regret ever joining the demonstration that day?
Oh, I joined the demonstration like we are going to present a peaceful petition. Before it happened like this, I take it like that, but it's painful that the police people, how they started shoot this thing, like it can't be like that. So only that thing who pay me. So me, my painful all go to the police people.
So the Kufuor came here to see you, to visit you. What does this visit mean to you?
Oh, I feel great for that. Say a big man I'll never see before come to me because of loss. I lost or I use my strength that they for do something for Ghanaians. If everybody forget peace, then he hear that matter, then he come visit me. I thank the man very well.
What did he tell you? What did he give you?
Oh, he gave me a courage that this type of people we need in this thing. If like something to you for that means you force for the as a Ghanaian for force for Ghanaians. So I'm forcing for Ghanaians. I'm not forcing for me alone. So he gave me some advice before he left here.
But your medical bills, is he taking care of that? Did he give you some money to support you?
Yeah, he support me a lot. That one day I can't tell for public. So I thank him very much for that.
So they'll be demonstrating again. Will you join them?
Oh, if that's what I'm talking about, I'll join them. Because that day we are going, they don't get our petition. So I still follow them. They should go and present the petition to them.
So you still join them?
Yeah, they should go and present the petition to them. Then they should accept it. Say this and this we want 2016. So I need only the things I need that for change the register. That's all.
You're watching Joy News today on your Multi TV. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more stories. Hello again to Joy News today. 5 people have appeared in a court in Accra to face charges connected with the erection of illegal structures at the former Sodom and Gomorrah slum. Latif Idris is there and joins us on the telephone line. Hello, Latif. What was the charge against these suspects exactly?
Well, Francisca, the charges were unlawful encroachment on public property. That was what the assembly member-elect of the area told me short while ago when I spoke with him. But as we speak, the latest is that 9 of them were taken to the police station yesterday. And out of the 9, 4 of them were released freely without any charges. 5 of them were charged for unlawful encroachment. And as we speak, they've been fined 60 Ghana cedis each. They've paid, and now they are back into the community, Francisca.
Latif, have you been able to interact with their counsels at the court?
Well, we didn't get to speak to the council of these residents who were picked up.
Okay, that's it for us, and thank you very much. That's Latif Idris from the court. Now, some residents of Old Ningo are losing their homes and businesses to sea erosion. The destruction has become life-threatening as the strong tides from the sea intensify daily. Join News' MFR Ewenam Etiamwa Eli, who visited the area, reports some have had to desert their homes.
The people of Old Ningo are mostly fisher folks. This is as a result of their strategic location along the coast. Even though it is their major source of livelihood, the sea has lately become a threat to their existence. Homes, social centers and businesses have been lost to the raging sea as it keeps extending its coverage area. Consequently, the entire town is gradually being submerged.
This is a clear evidence of the destructive nature of tidal waves here in Old Ningo. The exact place I'm standing used to be occupied by one of the chiefs of Old Ningo. Unfortunately, he's passed away and the place was taken over by his younger brother. But the waves pulled this structure down, and so he has to move back to town. Residents tell me the solution to the problem over the years, which they have been yearning for, has been a sea defense project, but this is never forthcoming.
Some residents who have their homes and businesses along the bank of the sea have been compelled to vacate these structures to save their lives. Rebecca lost her apartment to tidal waves about 6 months ago. She tells me she has had to move to town to rent a place. Rebecca says she's finding it difficult to pay her rent.
The tide wasn't this severe some time ago, but it just came strongly at once and destroyed our belongings. We initially managed to salvage some things, but it happened again and again. We had no choice but to leave here and rent a place in town. Some media houses were here to report on the incident, but we have not heard anything from them since.
Kabute also lives with his family in this 4-bedroom house. He tells me he's been having sleepless nights lately. He's scared of losing his house to the devastation of the sea. This, he says, prevents him from carrying out any further maintenance on the house.
From the look of things, we will all have to relocate from here. The destruction by the sea is too much, and there's very little we can do. We are pleading with government to construct the sea defense wall he promised us, so that we can live in peace.
Nene Kanatiapa is the chief of Old Ningo. He tells Joy News how his subjects have been dealing with a challenge.
When the erosion is coming up, I think many people have gone to their relatives at the sea Ningo town. Okay. So we are helping them. Even Nigos are one people. You can see them like the families and so forth, but one people. So if your house are being taken by the sea, I think you can go to your family on the other side.
Others have also decided not to carry out any maintenance work on their houses because it will be of no relevance as they keep wearing out from the sea breeze. They hope government will fulfill its promise of constructing a sea defense wall to save their lives and property.
Investigations are to be conducted into the structural integrity of one of the main branches of the Melcom Superstore in Accra. This follows reports of cracks in the building housing the North Industrial Area branch of the supermarket, raising alarm among customers. City authorities appear to have taken the concern seriously because a branch of the store collapsed 3 years ago. As Latif Idris reports, the mayor of Accra went to the store on Tuesday to assess the situation for himself.
So I'm currently here at Melcom Plus in North Kaneshi. Now, this very place has been in the news lately for the bad reasons, being that there are cracks in the building here. This morning, the mayor of Accra, Alfred Okovandapoy, was here briefly to inspect the structure. Now, we want to take viewers through the structure here and explain what the perceived cracks are. Now, if you look at my right, there are single pillars. I can count about 3 single pillars here, as you can see in the background. Now, then we move in slowly to this place where we can find double pillars, if you like. We have POP and bitumen that are used to cover the holes to make for easy plastering and painting as well. I have a structural engineer here. Now, he's going to walk us through the process.
It is part of engineering works. It is done during the design. When the building is long or has different shapes or have different heights, you create a joint so that in case of earth movement like earthquake one part will move separately so that it will not affect the other side. We know that in building, there could also be deformation in the ground, like settlement. So when the building is settling, it must settle in parts. If the crack was in the column is what is carrying the structure, that is where you have a cause of alarm. But where you have definitely designed the structure so that in case of any movement, the structure can move separately, there is no cause of alarm.
Well, you know, I have over the weekend received several text messages and WhatsApps giving me the picture as is indicated in this building, suggesting that there was a structural defect, cracks and all that. So in the interest of public safety, you know, this morning on my runs on duties, I decided to stop by here so I can verify things for myself. We will do a thorough technical inspection. So I have ordered that we should have a joint technical team from Malcolm and from AMA. And then they will come in. We will also bring in an independent consultant, structural engineer, to also do a further work.
It comes out that it is a defect in the structure. Are we likely to see a closure of the place?
Well, you know, we cannot compromise public safety. And so if we find out that it is something that will endure the public safety and the safety of the owners and the staff, that one we cannot compromise on that.
Let's now find out the latest in business. That's it for Joy News today. You can log on to myjoyonline.com for more news. My name is Francisca Kakwa Forson. Thank you very much for your company. Bye-bye.